and welcome to the Game Collection podcast, which is still the name. I'm Matt. I head up the marketing at the Game Collection, and I'm once again joined by
me, Jack. I head up social, although Matt heads up social too. But together we are the TGC social meteor team.
Oh, I like social meteor.
Yes.
We just come in and wreck stuff.
It's been
we just wreck stuff, we kill the dinosaurs, and then we out.
Social meteor team at your service.
Love that.
Yeah. That's got legs.
That's got legs. Stick that on a t-shirt. Next year's Gamescom, just wandering around. Social meteor team. Love it.
Social meteor team.
Yes, welcome back. We're doing another one of these because you guys liked them so much. The last one, our post Gamescom podcast.
Yes.
We thought we'd do another one. So thank you so much to folks who sort of sent in questions. We will get to those. We've got a fair few things we want to cover today. But first of all, I think an easy place to start off with, Jack. What have you been playing recently?
Okay, so I say finally, it's been a few weeks, but I have finally been getting stuck into the Silent Hill 2 remake, which was long overdue.
Love that.
I'm playing it in short bursts. As somebody that does love survival horror, I'm not ashamed to say that it's messing with my head a little bit. Like the sound effects, man, it's stressing me. And I'm playing it before bed as well. And then I'm just it's not probably the most healthy way for my mind.
Play it. That's the worst time to play it.
It's the only time I have time. As we always talk about with our customer base, our community here, I have so many games to play and I have no time. So if I can borrow some time off somebody, that would be fantastic. But I am currently playing the Silent Hill 2 remake, and Bloober, just to reaffirm, have absolutely smashed it. It is glorious, horrible, glorious, and yeah, they just deserve their flowers, which they got. And I do have Chronos to play. I'm starting that as soon as I finish Silent Hill 2. But I have also consistently still been playing Time Splitters 2. Sometimes I'll fire up my console and I'll be like, I'm gonna play Silent Hill, and then I'm like, oh look, Time Splitters 2, and the next thing I'm on the first level in Siberia, is it? And I'm just running around in the snow, and I'm like, oh, this is life. But I do have to briefly tell this story because so I was playing the other night, and if you've played that level before, guys, you will know that you have to destroy the communications dish. Pretty much it's one of the first objectives on the list. Now, I've played this level. It would terrify me to see the number of times that I've actually played this level. I love Time Splitters 2, right? So I do the level, have a great time. I get to the very end at the top of the dam. I shoot the helicopter down, and then I'm like, why hasn't the portal appeared? What? And then I check the objectives, and I've just conveniently forgotten to destroy the dish, which is obviously at the very start of the map, right? So I'm like, hell. I said something worse, but I was like, why? So this is where it gets interesting. I realized I had some mines left in my arsenal, and I ran to the end of the dam, and I was like, I wonder if I can hit it from here. I wonder if I can hit that dish from here. So I'm gauging up the range, and I'm throwing mines, and nothing is happening. And then I hear the beep 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 beep, nothing. Beep 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 beep, nothing. And then, bro, out of nowhere, beep beep, portal appears. I'm like, I need to tell somebody about this. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for the podcast. I literally hit the dish from the top of the dam. Honestly, I did this this silent, my girlfriend was in bed, so I did this silent dance of victory in the living room. I was like this is just vibes. So yeah.
If I could wear hats, I would doff it. I would.
Honestly, it was just one of those moments that I was like, yeah, I love this game. I love this game. Anything is possible. Yeah.
What a game.
How about yourself? What are you playing?
I'm sort of going between 3 games at the moment. For some reason, I've been playing through Far Cry 6 because it's on Game Pass, and I don't know why. I just sort of fancied some big dumb fun, really, I
Hell yeah.
suppose. Like just some sandbox nonsense. And I think like, you know, the Far Cry games, Far Cry 3 is a masterpiece. Genuinely, it's phenomenal. But I think the Far Cry games to me since then have kind of been a little bit like, as a lot of I think sort of really large, quite bloated games can be. They're sort of like McDonald's, right? I can
Yeah.
appreciate the way it's sort of put together, and it'll fill me up. But ultimately, like it's not like haute cuisine. It's not like a freaking Hawksmoor steak. Do you know what I mean? But like it'll do a job. It'll do, and it's comfort food, right? And sometimes you're in the mood for that. And so yeah, I've been playing a bit of Far Cry. I'm every so often, if I've got like 15, 20 minutes spare, that's my Donkey Kong Bonanza time. Like it's a really good game I'm finding just to sort of dip in and out of. I only realized in the last 2 weeks that it had motion controls. So that's really fun.
Exercise too, you know.
Well, exactly. I was going to say it's really fun for like the first 5 minutes, and then I remember that I'm, you know, in my late 30s, really fat, and I get really tired. So yeah. But it's like honestly, for like 15, 20 minutes, I'm well into it now. I'm having a blast with it. And then I think like one I've got to mention is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. It's fantastic. Like it's genuinely like I grew up playing Mega Drive games over at my mate's house, and like we loved Shinobi. And it's you know, if you love your 2D side-scrolling action stuff, it's awesome. It's really awesome. 87% Metacritic, I think. It's the same team that did Streets of Rage 4, which was awesome. Yeah, just Sega revisiting the classics. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. One other thing as well. So a mate of mine from my uni days came over, and like back then we used to play this Xbox 360 game called Heavy Weapon Atomic Tank, and it's
sounds fire.
It's kind of crap, but it's also kind of great, and it's kind of like a twin stick shooter, except you're just this awesome tank, and these waves of kind of aerial enemies come at you, and your job is to basically stop communism. So you're just blowing up like all these sort of like blimps that are dropping nukes and satellites that want to destroy you with laser beams, and it's a really good couch co-op game that you can kind of half ignore. You know those games where you want to catch up with a mate, but
yeah.
You also kind of you're playing something, but you don't need to sort of pay too much attention to it until the nukes start dropping.
So, you know, how are the kids? Oh, look, there's a nuke. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, school, everything okay? They're settling in. Yeah, like that. You know, it's like that. That's fine for the whole family vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How was last weekend? Oh, you had a lovely time at like. Oh, yeah. It's like a nuke. Just like that.
You tried that new steak restaurant? Yeah, no, me too. It's great. Yeah. Oh, look, yeah, I got you.
Exactly like that. So yeah, good little mix.
Cool. While I remember, did you you've just unlocked a little bit of a memory there. Not Far Cry 6, but Far Cry 5. Do you remember seeing the live action trailers promoting that title? Like that was
vague
fire.
Memory. Yeah.
So cool. Like the guy like arriving at the church, and he's like giving his sermon, and I think the congregation are like quietly singing Amazing Grace. It was like hair raising stuff, man. It was absolute fire. You've just reminded me of that. Like I like, as we obviously with us dealing with marketing stuff on a daily basis, you'll see some which live long in the memory and some which are quite forgettable, and that for me is definitely one of the most memorable. It was so well done by Ubisoft. That
trying to think of like what other trailers really. The original Dead Island, that was incredible. Do you remember like the slow-mo and the baby and that was so awesome.
And you did that a play on, right? When Dead Island 2 eventually launched,
Dead Island 2.
You were a play on, yeah, I remember that. The event you did in London with us when we came down, and we had like Dead Island burgers and like the American kind of like diner style. It was in the Westfield shopping centre, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. And then we had like action, then obviously saw behind the scenes then in the cinema, as I recall. It was, that was vibes. Very, very cool. One thing I will say about Fair Play, when you were there, like you always did some really, really cool stuff. Like, and that's memorable for sure.
That was a good game to work on, actually, because like we had budget. so you can do cool stuff when you have budget.
What a point to make. Prizes.
Speaking of cool events, one thing that we didn't get to talk about in our Gamescom podcast, but we can talk about now, the State of Play has happened. There was a really, really cool booth at Gamescom for 007 First Light, which had like freaking vintage Aston outside of it. There was like a private cinema, got a really awesome coffee with like the IO logo in it, while we then went in and had like a 40-minute hands-off demo for First Light. Obviously, like, the State of Play has happened. My preview's up on the blog. So guys, if you haven't already, do go check that out, or do it after. Do it after you've listened to this podcast. But what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on sort of seeing 007 First Light and kind of, where are you at with it?
Let's ask the duck.
The duck.
Oh, we got these really awesome like ducks in tuxedo, man. Like tuxedo.
How did we not think of that?
We should work in marketing.
We should work in marketing.
And we got these really cool like deck of cards too. Very nice and shiny. Both available to us at the event.
They came in really handy, actually, because there was a place in the Kölnmesse in the arena where the conference hall, where like you couldn't go unless you were playing board games. But me and Jack were really tired and we needed to record. We needed to record a reel. So just whipped out a nice little promo set of cards and just fanned them out on the table. Didn't actually play any cards, but top little tip. Top little tip if you're ever at Gamescom and you need a place to sit down. Take a deck of cards and no one will disturb you.
Not a word was said. Not a word.
And she was moving people on that weren't playing board games. First thoughts about First Light. Obviously, that whole set to begin with, just walking past the Aston Martin, going into like the cinema vibe, sitting down, getting a tuxedo, all very cool. Obviously, once we had a little bit of a debrief from the team, and we then obviously got to see what everybody else has now gotten to see on that State of Play. I mean, like, I'd be lying if I said at first it wasn't a little bit weird to me, like just seeing Bond going all like Nathan Drake on the side of a building, just like shimmying along and just like it was, but like it was weird to me. It's Hitman mixed in with Uncharted. That's kind of what the vibes that I got, and in no way is that a bad thing. Like, no. I mean, I was watching the comments on the live stream, and there were lots of people saying the same thing, Hitman. But like, I mean, Hitman's ace. I think that's it, isn't it? It's like it was like a demo of two halves. You got the Hitman-y bit at the start where he's sneaking around and turning on taps and distracting guards and setting fire to leaves, and then you get the time skip, and it's like, oh shit, we're in a car chase and it's awesome and it's really cinematic and slow-mo jump, and then now I'm throwing machine guns at guards and doing takedowns, and this is sick, and it's very, very, very Uncharted at that point. I really liked the bit in the plane where he hacks the controls and can then bank the plane and make people fall over. I thought that was awesome.
Very, very cool. And I love the to be honest with you, the car chase reminded me, we are going to talk about obviously other Bond games in a minute, but the car chase just reminded me of how much I loved Nightfire at the start, the car at the start. Like we are going to get to that, but like for me, it just showcased that, like you said, it's not just this stealth game where you're sneaking around trying your best to infiltrate this, that, the other. It showed the game completely in two halves where it will have elements of stealth, but man, when Bond wants to throw down, he throws down. Like that scene on the tarmac, even before the plane, like that, it was just like Call of Duty, man. It was wild.
It was so awesome.
But I loved it. I really did. And I was looking at the comments, and there was a lot of positivity around it too. But for me personally, I thought it looked ace. In truth, there was nothing really negative. And the only bit I said I struggled with at the start was just a bit odd to me, was just kind of watching him shimmy along. I have no idea why. That's just maybe a personal thing, but it was just like, this is a bit strange.
It's a bit of video game suspension of disbelief required, isn't it? Because like he's chilling out just above the main door, and you're just like, well, if anyone just kind of looks slightly up.
I'm there hanging. It's like, I'm with that guy when he jumps over the side of the balcony to begin with, and there's just people around him, man. He's like, I'll just pop over here and shimmy along. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
Fine.
Yeah,
that burning pile of leaves is a sufficient distraction. Everything's fine.
Like, yeah. So I mean, like, exactly that. Like, it's a video game. Like, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I've played games that go for all out realism. Not for me.
And there we go.
Not really.
Like,
controversially, I'm not really the biggest fan of Red Dead 2 because it's almost too realistic. That's just my opinion. I know it's a magnificently sculpted game, but yeah, I think
if you just take a look to the right,
realistic.
Take a look to the right out of your window. There's a mob forming with pitchforks, and they are very angry. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think we can both pretty much agree that First Light looks great, and I'm excited to see more. You know, we're still 6 months away from release. You know, there were some people saying about the performance and how it looked, this, that, the other. I mean, look, we saw that demo play out 2 weeks before that. We got to, so, you know, who knows how long that's been in existence for. In truth, you know, we are seeing, you know, potentially a very rough version of that playthrough. So, yeah, let's let them cook. I think there's something really special there.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Yeah, looks absolute fire. Speaking of fire, or rather, as you mentioned, Nightfire. Fire at night. Yeah, man. Like, obviously, it's got there's some pedigree with Bond games, right? Like, and you've mentioned it to me before, but like, explain to the people why you think Nightfire and not GoldenEye is the best Bond game.
I mean, I don't want to upset people. Like, it's like, I mean, I don't even necessarily think that I have like an answer for that will make people go, oh, well, that's fair enough. Like, the reality is, GoldenEye was and is iconic. I mean, I think for me and like the generation that we grew up a part of, now you're a little bit older than me, but like the generation for me, that was my first experience of Bond in general. Like the first time, like obviously when GoldenEye was released in like 95, is it 95, 96 as a Bond film? Yeah. Maybe I'm a little bit early there, I don't know, but around there, you know, it was my first entry into Bond. So getting to then like play that in a game as well was just mind blowing, man. And I mean, how long have we got to talk about multiplayer and everything else? Like it was, you know, GoldenEye was fantastic. For me, Nightfire came, obviously, it was a little bit older. I was like kind of obviously then very well educated on the Bond franchise. I actually had all of the Bond films, like VHS tapes. I don't know if you remember they did this like re-release of them all, and they had like an image on the spines, and you could like yeah. I had them like all for Christmas. Like my dad got me 7, and other family were like, oh, like, which ones have you got him? Right, we'll get him these ones. And then I had like the whole collection, man. And I went Bond crazy as a kid. Like it was a wonderful time.
Just another reason why physical media rocks, by the way. Like,
absolutely
incredible. Get the collection, enjoy this facade of awesomeness. It's just,
hell yeah.
Physical media is the best.
Genius. I think the whole thing numbered with the just a beautiful thing to witness. But yeah, so Nightfire, you know, I was like very, very heavily into Bond. Like at that point in my life, I had it on GameCube, and had it for Christmas with my GameCube, and it was just epicness, man. I loved the car chase. I loved the way that it played, the level design, and I really loved the multiplayer. Like I used to play. I remember playing it with like my cousin. Was, you know, obviously around Christmas time, a lot of family come over, and it was just like me versus him on the map, right? And I don't know if you remember, there was like a rocket launcher of sorts which had a camera.
Yep.
You could launch the rocket and you just fly him around the map. I was just like hunting him down. Like I just have like the most epic memories of him being like, oh, this isn't fair, and it's like just chasing him around the map with a rocket. But like, yeah. for me, given the choice of the two, personally, I would pick Nightfire.
We used to do that, actually. My mate and I, we used to do that. Yeah, same sort of principle. You'd both have rocket launchers. You go to alternate ends of the map and you can't move, and you've got to just fly by wire the rockets.
I mean, like, that was a genuine smile reaction. Like, that's amazing. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like, yeah. I mean, look, no shade to GoldenEye. GoldenEye is a work of art. It was a work of art. It is a work of art. It's still playable now. People will say that it's janky and it's this, it's that, it's the other. And it's been some years since I've actually played GoldenEye, in truth. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I played it last year. I had a friend's play. Disregard previous statement. It was fine. Like, it was fine. It played fine. As with everything else, you fire it up and you go the first maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Like, my whole childhood was a lie. It never looked this bad. Down with this sort of thing. But then you get back into it and you're like, oh, no, I remember why this was just like life-changing. Yeah.
It's so good. I've got, obviously they re-released it on Xbox, which is weird. It's weird playing it with like a modern pad as well, because for me, GoldenEye goes hand in hand with the N64 and the trigger Z button, and it's just the best. But then Eurocom got the license because obviously, Rare and Nintendo went their separate ways. The World Is Not Enough, because I think their first one before Nightfire, The World Is Not Enough, which was also on the N64, that was actually pretty good. It's no mean feat to follow GoldenEye and one of the most seminal first-person shooters ever made, and still do a really good job, really solid job. So but even I like all of them, man. Like, Tomorrow Never Dies was kind of, it wasn't as good, but it was still entertaining. I loved, because we were talking about this over the desks, like over the virtual desks, earlier this week, and I remember Bloodstone, the completely fictional Daniel Craig movie that never was, that became video game and is
never played it.
Joss Stone, and was actually surprisingly good.
Okay,
and the story is surprisingly good. And also one last thing from my side, just like the Game Boy one. So the Game Boy, and this I'm jumping ahead a little bit to one of the questions we're going to answer, but the Game Boy was one of my first gaming things that I ever owned. And playing, I think it was James Bond 007, where it's top down sort of side scrolling. For some reason, you fight both Oddjob and Jaws in it. But Oddjob is massive and is just flinging like 100 hats at you. And it's kind of great.
Sounds like a fever dream.
it sort of is and was, but it was kind of, I have a soft spot for that. It's a fairly mid game, but it holds a special place in my memories.
No, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds amazing. Yeah, no, it does genuinely sound amazing. The World Is Not Enough. You just like, not the game, but the movie. Do you remember in the movie, in The World Is Not Enough, when that helicopter is coming with like the razor blades underneath it, and it absolutely destroys Zhukovsky's caviar factory, and he's in his caviar, and as the scene ends, you just hear him like drowning in his caviar, going, "The insurance company is never going to believe this."
Very quickly, favorite Bond film?
Moonraker. Easy.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, which we argued about at length.
We did.
By the way, like, I think Matt actually lost respect for me when I said Moonraker. Like, I saw that, like, when it's like, okay, I'm like, I like you, I think you're cool, but that's just a really, really silly decision. I'm like, oh, okay, Matt. I mean, but I love Moonraker. Like, do
you know what? I can't be mad. It's Bond in space, and like one of my, I often cleave to the rule that if you add space to anything, it gets more awesome. It's like Space Bond. Okay, fair. By that logic, and Jaws is in it. Jaws in space.
Talks. Jaws talks.
Is that the one where Jaws falls in love?
Well, here's to us.
Yes, it's Jaws in love.
Yeah, Jaws in love. But he's like, his mouth is so full of giant teeth, like, well, here's to us. Genius. But again, for me, it's the same reason why Roger Moore is my favorite Bond. Like, I appreciate, like, again, that's quite divisive, and a lot of people will say Connery because he was the first, or like even people of my age, Brosnan, because that was our first experience of Bond. To be fair, for me, one of the most important things about being Bond is the ability to deliver really cheesy
Some of
lines,
those
one-liners
lines,
in
yeah.
moments. And I just found Roger Moore to be just genius at that, man. But just
I mean, he was definitely the best at that aspect of Bond.
Oh,
and the eyebrows. The eyebrows are phenomenal.
Yeah, unrivaled, man. Let's be honest. But like, he just when he like fires Drax into space in Moonraker, and then Holly, Dr. Goodhead says to him, "Where's Drax?" Oh, he had to fly. It's just the most like painfully cheesy but yet cool vibe, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a Roger Moore stan to the end, man. Like, for me,
that's
Moore
the thing,
was my
though. For
favorite
me,
one.
I think by the end, by the time you get to like, I mean, he was so old in A View to a Kill, but like by the time you get to there, like it's gone. It's no longer cool. I guess it's like Brosnan was awesome at all of it as well.
Yeah.
But then like you get to Die Another Day, and you're like, oh, I don't think this is cool anymore.
It was one Bond too many.
It was one
wasn't
Bond
it?
too
Die
many.
Another Day was one too many, because I actually think GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and The World's Not Enough is a seriously strong run. Like, it's
awesome.
It's like, you know that meme where you have the the horse's body as the things, and then at the end it's just like a little stick head. Yeah, that is genuinely, it's 3/4 of the most, like, I don't know, the most primed fire horse, and then the head is just like,
and then
I don't know, it's just this little,
a 5-year-old squiggle drawing.
Yeah. I have a very squeaky chair. I'm sorry, but that kind of added to the moment. Like, yeah. So
I do think as well, actually, I know, so many rumors going around about who's going to be the next Bond. I'd love for them to do a Pierce Brosnan return and do Old Man Bond. Just like a one-off. What does that look like? I don't know, but I reckon he could pull it off. And he says he wants. He says he'd quite like to do it. Like, I think that could work.
I can honestly say that for me, I think that would be the only way you're going to convince me to watch another Bond film, because the way they ended Daniel Craig's last movie was just, I'm that guy. I'm that guy that was like, you've just killed the person that can't be killed. I know Bond is just a name. I understand the premise. I understand all of that. But still, you don't just blow him up like that. That's my, if by now I like to believe that's not a spoiler, although I still feel like spoiled by it. It bothers me. It bothers me deeply that happened. Bond's escapism. It's escapism. Like he's you don't just incinerate him, man. That really bothered me. So, but to your point, I actually think Brosnan to come back and do that, almost like a Never Say Never Again with Connery.
Oh yeah,
like,
that'd be great.
Like that is doable. And I don't know, I actually really liked Mobland, and I really liked Pierce Brosnan in Mobland, and yes. I still like to think that like Brosnan still really got it. Like, I know his accent annoyed some people, but I thought, like, I'm in agreement. I would love to see him come back and there be some sort of like age skip.
I think it'd be so good. I just want to see what was. Yeah, gentleman spy, his 60s, 70s, one last job. So, I think it'd be amazing. He thought he was out. Just when I thought I was out, they pull you right back in, James. Yes, just
unreal.
Give it.
And then he turns up and he's like, so where's Judi Dench? And we're like, about that.
What a film! Skyfall's so great. That's such a
we need to be careful. This isn't going to be known as the Bond cast.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Let's get into some questions. I think let's get into some questions. So thank you so much to everyone. Just a thank you to everyone who likes, comments, shares, engages with all of our stuff on social. We see you. Jack is often the one replying to everybody. It's a big part of our ethos, I guess. Like, we want to be a retailer that communicates. We don't want people to just feel like they're shouting into the void, so we like to shout back. But no, thank you so much to
and it's my capital letters.
Well, yes.
By the way, I'm sorry. I love caps lock. I'm sorry.
But yeah, let's get into some of these. So Warlust GG says, I think this is a really good place to start for a game collection podcast. Is what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting a game collection today?
I think for me, it's going to be an obvious one, but if you're, if you're into collecting, then you probably already collect physical media of some description. And so I think adequate space, like storage space, somewhere to display. And again, that's going to sound so obvious, but I mean, look at what you've got behind you, man. Like it's a cool, it's all well and good, like having stuff and collecting things, but if you've got to just kind of like just chuck them to one side, like, or just like stock them under the TV, or like, for me, if you're going to be collecting, have the space to display, to take care of, to look after, and to just like really to admire. Like I look at like things that I collect like all the time. I'm like, that's awesome. So I know perhaps
it's like
a very obvious
nerd
one.
feng shui. Like this is the reason these are behind me is because I spent so much time on like Zoom and Teams calls. I was like, I'm gonna put them behind me because then whenever I'm on them, I'm just seeing them in my peripheral vision. It's just making me happier. It's just lovely. But I would say in tandem with that, if you're starting out collecting, I would say start small. Or like start with some limitations, like whether that's a genre or a particular IP or brand or a platform. So I'm collecting GameCube games, so you can kind of see up there at the minute. I think start finite because if you start collecting everything all at once, one, it's really, really expensive. And two, you'll just sort of end up with a lot of, I don't know, disparate things. Whereas it's much easier to sort of plan out space and storage if everything's like fairly uniform. And it kind of looks, I don't know, maybe you're into chaos, in which case all power to you. But I think
have at it.
Have at it.
Have at it. Godspeed.
But I think like having a bit of a plan and starting I don't know, have a goal maybe, or just have an idea that I really like that moment. Like my life seemed so great when like I was playing Nintendo DS, so I'm going to collect a bunch of DS stuff and get some cool custom consoles. And oh man, I want to collect DS stuff.
And here we go. Yeah, wonderful. This is how it starts, man. This is
exactly how it starts. Or go work for a games retailer, and trust me, you'll find yourself with piles and piles of games that you've bought, because physical media forever. And you have to live the ethos.
Hell yeah, physical media forever. But it ties in nicely as well to our Sunday Shelfie series on Instagram.
100%.
We celebrate that. Like we love to see it. Which, by the way, like we have had so many entries on. It's crazy. So yeah, we if you haven't won yet, don't worry, all is not lost. If you sent them in like a month or two ago, don't worry, your hope is not lost. Like we just got so many entries that like I'm just like, yeah. So I get the great job of going through, and it is some absolutely fire collection still to come. So if you've not been picked or you haven't submitted yet, now is the time. community@thegamecollection.net to send in your Sunday Shelfie entries. If you're not familiar with our Sunday Shelfie series, that's hard to say. Sunday
Shelfie series.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go again, showing off because it's not your first day, is it? Yeah, same old. But no, if you haven't seen it, check out our socials, specifically Instagram. We've got some great posts on there from our community that have submitted some absolutely fire video game collections. And not just video games, there's some other stuff there too. Like just collections of awesome stuff. Like Matt's got behind him there, some Star Wars bits and so on. Check it out.
Yeah, we love seeing it. Everyone we post will get £25 in reward points. And also it's good inspiration for us as well. Like it's love seeing what you guys have got, because it helps. It helps inspire. So yeah.
How can I create more space? Yes.
Along the theme of collecting. So Merman 1974 asked, game protectors, yes or no? And we weren't entirely sure what you meant by this question, Merman. And what I think you're asking here is, do you have games in protective packaging when on display, or do you just sort of let them breathe au naturel? And my take on this is like, I think it depends on why and what you're collecting. A lot of the stuff that I collect to also play. So, like faff wise, I tend to not put things in kind of protective casing too much. But older stuff I do. So, I'm currently working on a oh, I don't know actually. Like I recently acquired a vintage Game Boy that's really, really, really cool that I may show on like a TikTok or a reel at some point down the line. But I'm currently working on how I want to display that, and that will probably go in a protective case at some point. But it needs to be openable because I also want to play it. This is the thing.
Yeah.
It's that push pull.
And I think that is very much kind of tying with my answer to that too. Like, but I suppose it's not dissimilar to if you buy vinyl and you collect vinyl. Like I've got some of my vinyl back here. Like most of those have the plastic protective sleeve on them because I want to look after them, and that's very much how I am with most things. I'm very particular in where things need to be and how they're looked after and so on. But I think even if you are sealing and protecting your games, like play and enjoy what you have. Like there was things when I was younger that I was too scared to use almost. I'm like, nowadays I'm like, everything I buy and invest in, I use, I play, I wear, I enjoy everything. It looks great on the shelf, and by all means protect your physical media, but play them too, man. That's just my personal input. If you if your vibe is to collect things and put them on shelves and be happy with that and look and admire, you do you. But for me, don't leave things sealed forever.
I think that's it. There's no right and wrong way to collect.
Definitely.
Like it's whatever makes you happy. I would say that I do think like obviously it's easier to sort of it's easier now in a certain sense because you have plastic cases and you have protective cases already for things like CDs, and obviously PlayStation always did that, dual cases, etc. It's a bit harder obviously for like if you go down the N64 collecting route or like the Game Boy collecting route with the cardboard boxes, that requires some protective casing. So I've got a nice boxed version of Pokemon Blue that I am looking at putting in a protective case because I'm like, yeah, that cardboard is one wrong move, and I am a very clumsy man, and that thing will be no more. So yeah, I think it's might need a bit of protection for that one. A to Z of Gaming, thanks very much, Gaz, asks, what was your first console and game played?
Okay, so for me, it was the Super Nintendo, and I still remember firing it up on Christmas morning. I think it was 96, maybe 95. No, the date is unknown, but the memory remains of me having my SNES and having Super Mario All-Stars. I remember the box as well. My SNES box had the All-Stars branding on it. It was it was just a wonderful, wonderful Christmas.
That's awesome.
And just having like multiple Mario games on one cartridge blew my tiny mind. Like Mario All-Stars was just a wonderful thing. So that was my very first game that I as far back as I can remember that I played, or the first vivid memory I have of playing a game where it really, like, perhaps that wasn't the first game that I played, but for me, having my SNES and having Mario All-Stars on Christmas morning is something I will never ever forget.
Oh, I love that. I remember, so my first gaming memory that I can remember, I think I was about 3 or 4, and like my dad, like my mum and my dad's best man lived like, for some reason we were coming back down from like the north, and we stopped off in the Midlands somewhere and like dropped in to see my dad's best man, who's my godfather. And I remember being really small and just being sat on the living room floor and watching his daughters playing this, engaging with the TV with this thing that I couldn't understand. And it was they were playing Super Mario World on the SNES, and this must have been like 1990, 1991. And they wouldn't let me play because they said I was too small. But I was just like, what is this? This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. So So yeah, I was always destined to be a Nintendo fanboy. But the first console I ever owned, was actually a Game Boy. It's the original Game Boy. And similar to you, it must have been around 1995, I think. Also for Christmas, and it was I got 3 games. One was tennis, and a classic, absolute classic, just tennis. One was Dr. Mario, and the other, and this is the one that I fired up first, was Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and that just absolutely blew my tiny little mind.
Tiny little mind.
It's awesome. It's so awesome.
I was when you were saying when you said you wanted to play Super Mario World and they wouldn't let you, I had these visions of it's like your dad saying, "Let the boy watch."
That's deeply sinister.
Watch.
Let the boy watch.
But just let the boy watch. He's phoning down, man. Amazing. But yeah. And speaking of Game Boy, like again, Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2, 6 gold coins. My dad had Super Mario Land on his Game Boy. That was, I think, after I had my SNES, but again, that just took over. And when I got my own Game Boy and I had that and Super Mario Land 2, 6 gold coins, 2 of my absolute like favorite games ever. It's in no way, and I am very proud that I've completed both without dying, back to back. Yeah. I didn't have many friends, and I, but it was yeah.
That's brilliant stuff. This actually ties in quite nicely with so Squish Monkey 24 came in with a question similar that said, what was the first game you ever played that really sunk its teeth into you? So like, yeah, I guess the first game that, you know, you really lost time to or just really just made a mark. I think for me, actually similar, just going on the Game Boy theme again, just a game that I was obsessed with, like as was everybody. It's Pokemon Blue. Like it's why I found that pristine box version, because like that wasn't just a game. It was, I mean, we sit here now.
It was
like,
a cultural movement.
Decades on. It was a cultural movement. It absolutely was. And you're there in playgrounds and people with Game Boys and like freaking link cables trading, and then the racketeering of Pokemon cards, and then just this proliferation of tiny fighting monsters. Gotta catch them all. Like just the best. Just the absolute best. But yeah, that, like, what was it? Was it 98? When did Pokemon? No, it was earlier than that. But yeah, Pokemon Blue. My sister had Red.
I was a Red baby. That's what I was about to say. I was a Pokemon Red baby.
Yeah, I'm a paid up member of the Squirtle Squad, man. I've got to rep my boys.
Sunglasses on, man. Sunglasses on. No, it's. I think for me, I'm actually going to change my answer, because I mean, I would like to. I'll give an honourable mention, I think, then to Pokemon Red, because you just reminded me of how much it really did rule my childhood, and how like you'd go over friends' houses and your parents, and their parents would be like, "Why didn't you go and play outside?" And you're in the corner with cables linked. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't ever want to do that actually ever again. I'm quite set here. Thank you.
Like, I've got to grind, because if I don't grind, I can't beat the Elite Four. Duh.
I still remember my friend, his brother, I don't know how he got it, but it was like he was the coolest person in the world to us for doing it. We went over my friend's house one day, and his older brother had Mew, and he gave us all Mew. And then honestly, like I went home with Mew on my Game Boy, and I was like, I'm unbeatable now. This is me. Like this is
life doesn't get better.
Top 10.
That's it.
Like top 10 things in life probably that's going to happen to me. Like this is up there. You know, I was young, but it meant a lot. You've just completely reminded me of those feelings. But
I've actually just lost my specs. I've lost my specs now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. No, leave those on. It's fine. Squirtle spot.
That's okay. It's okay. Fine. I can see again.
There was genuine concern in my voice there a second ago. I actually went, oh no. Whatever will he do? I actually wanted to talk about Tomb Raider, because it was like the first, like my parents split up when I was quite young, and so I would go to my dad's at the weekend, And so my now stepmom and my stepsister, like I would go to their house for the weekend with my dad, and like we would all like sit and watch my dad play Tomb Raider. Like it was a family thing, and it was like we'd all like so me and my stepsister, we were only young, we were like, oh, like try over there, we were all like chipping in trying to like figure out like Tomb Raider puzzles. And like every weekend it was a thing. Maybe not every weekend, but that for me holds like really, really like happy memories of like it sounds really boring, but like we would all like kind of, even though my dad was playing, we would all like take part. We were like, right, like where's, you know, how do we figure this out? Like what's the next step in this level? It was awesome.
You
So
realize
for me,
that
that
what you've just described there is basically Twitch before Twitch was a thing.
there we go. There we go. See, people would have paid good money for that, man. Yeah. Yeah, and there we go. So yeah, for me, that is a really like strong and happy memory of like gaming in childhood, and like it proper sunk its teeth into us as a family, and we would all be like, like yeah, especially on like a Sunday afternoon. Do you know, it was like after like we'd have like dinner, and then it'd be like right then we all settling on the sofa, and like we were all more excited than my father who's playing. We're like, come on in, let's go, and yeah, so that's me for sure.
Oh, that's so good. That's so awesome. And that actually ties in quite nicely to we're gonna do this next question really, really quickly, because actually it deserves a full podcast. Because Paddy McMullen asked, what's your favorite video game of all time? And mine is Ocarina of Time. And the reason is very similar to exactly what you just described. At the weekends, I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. before mum and dad, go downstairs, turn on the N64 and get a couple of hours of gaming in. And my sister would come down and watch me play, and she'd be there with like the little guide helping me out. And she'd get really annoyed if I didn't wake her up, because she'd be like, I don't want to miss anything. And like, so yeah, like for that reason, similar to your Tomb Raider one, is favorite video game.
That's ace, man. Like, you know, like just to quickly like just go off slightly on time, just for two. Like, I was speaking to this with a customer. Gaming as a child, man, life was just so much simpler and happy. Like childhood gaming is unrivaled. Like those feelings and just those kind of like moments or those stories, like no matter how hard we try and replace those in adult life, like it's just, yeah, man, like that was prime time, wasn't it? Like those were the days.
It was the absolute best. And I think, and this is probably a subject for its own podcast in and of itself, is like, what's the golden era of gaming? Like, is it just the time that you're alive when you're between the ages of like 10 and 18, or like, you know, I think it differs for everyone, right? But I think it's probably whenever you were a kid and gaming potentially, or just now when like, you know, there's games everywhere and you can play everything under the sun. But like, we'll save that for another podcast down the line. But what's your favorite game of all time?
Super Metroid. Without even thinking. It for me, again, as a kid playing like the likes of All Stars and so on, and playing like levels, for me, the concept of Super Metroid being the game that it was, like this giant map of goodness, and that whole Metroidvania, as it's now become like the idea of, oh, you can't go through there yet, you need to get something before we can go through there, and just the concept of it was just, for me, almost, well, it was, as a child, was way too much to handle at the same time as it changed me, like, for sure. Like, and when I went back as a teenager and like completed it, and played through and actually completed it, it was biblical, man. Like, it was absolutely biblical. I was old enough to actually take it all in.
Oh, that's awesome. A game that you like play at one stage of your life and you appreciate for certain reasons, then you come back to it like years later and you get to experience it all over again, but as this kind of different, evolved person, and it's just amazing in completely different ways. That's incredible.
And it holds up today. Like, for me, it's a 10 out of 10. Like, it's a 10 out of 10 game. Like, and it just, obviously it's got huge, a huge amount of community behind it who love it. But for me, you'd be hard pressed to find a better game from that era. For me, it was perfect, and to me still is. I do actually remember being in my nan's house. I took my console down to my nan's and I was playing it, and we were playing, like, we started Super Metroid, even though we weren't going to be there for long. So I'm playing it on the TV, and my dad's like, "Right, Jack, come on, pack it up, we're going." And I'm like, "Oh, 5 more minutes." And my nan's like, "Oh, bless him, Chris, let him finish this level." And I'm like, "There are no levels. This is amazing." And he's like, "No, ma'am, no, there's no levels." He's like, "Oh, let him play for me a level." And I'm like,
Machiavellian.
Just come back to me. Yeah, good old Nan defending the grandchild to the end, like, amazing.
Oh, but yeah, that definitely warrants an hour in and of itself. I think favorite games and why.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you, Paddy, for that question. We are running long, but we are going to get through a couple more, I think. So really quickly, great question from NSW Mongoose, who says, "What video game would you love to be in, be it voice work, video capture, or FMV?"
For me, I was thinking about this, and for me, like, randomly, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 came to mind. One, because I always wanted to be able to skate. Like, and it used to frustrate the hell out of me that I couldn't do what I could do in a video game. And I was like, I really, really want to be a skater. Why do I suck so bad on a skateboard? So that, and the fact that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 has one of the greatest soundtracks of any game ever. So the fact that I could be in that, skate to an incredibly cool and unrealistic level, whilst also having Guerrilla Radio by Rage Against the Machine in my ears. I'm so down. So that to me was I think the perfect answer I could come up with, because
that's actually perfection.
2 is my favorite, and Guerrilla Radio is it's just vibes.
I want to play it right now. Just
Same,
again, childhood memories of just sitting on that, hot swapping controllers for you do your 2-minute run, and then you just try and beat your mate's score, and then you just love it. Just love it.
2-minute runs, like just 2 minutes of just and objectives, and it was a simple concept, but it was just perfection.
I remember when the original demo for the first one came out, and it was the Chicago skate park, 2 minutes score attack basically. And me and a mate, because he had a PlayStation, I never had a PS1. I was over at his house, and he was just like, "I got this demo disc," and I mean, just God bless demo discs for starters. But he was just like, "It's unbelievable," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, Chicago skate park, 2 minutes. We played it 6 hours. 6 hours. And all we're doing is just score attack, pass control, score attack, pass. It's just absolutely another cultural moment, actually, Tony Hawk's. Amazing.
I think quickly, I know we're running long, but just to that point there, you mentioned demo discs. Whenever we've mentioned them on social in the past, it's gone down an absolute storm. Again, it's back in the day when you'd have your games, and demo discs would be part of your game collection. You'd be like, if you didn't have a new game to play, I'm just going to fire up that demo disc, and then you play levels. And that's what they were, man. They were games in your collection. They weren't this free thing you got. They were a free thing you got with a magazine, but they were loved and respected and in the collection. Like you say, 6 hours of gaming with a mate, just passing back and forth, trying to beat each other's score.
Unreal.
Take us back to the glory days, man. Take us back.
What video game would you love to be in? I'd basically just quite like to be Ben Starr, I think, because I'd love to be in Final Fantasy. That's probably on balance one of my favorite video game series of all time. Love Final Fantasy. I'd love to be in a Final Fantasy game. I think that'd be very, very, very cool. I am actually in a game, technically. If you go onto Steam and you type in vending Dokkan, cozy kiosk, sorry, not crazy kiosk, cozy kiosk. I am actually a voice in that game. But yeah, man, Final Fantasy for me would be phenomenal.
I'm probably going to upset the community by saying I've never really been one for Final Fantasy. It never landed. Oh, look, that mob that was outside your house has just come to my
now
house.
outside yours. It's crossed the channel.
Matt, we'll be back. We'll be back, but something more important has been brought to our attention.
But no, thank you, Mongoose, for that one. A couple of well, one or two questions just to finish, just to take us home. So quite a little bit of a left field one from Tonk Bomb, who says, what sitcom characters, in the spirit of getting to know us a little better, what sitcom characters would you say describe the both of you?
Who's going first?
Well, I had a long think about this one. I'd love to say Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. And I can say like 60% Ron Swanson because I love steak and I have a bottle of Lagavulin downstairs in my kitchen. Like I love single malts. So, but I'm rubbish with my hands. I've never woodworked in my life and I can't grow a proper mustache. So I don't think I can say Ron Swanson. I think
60% is strong though.
Yeah, well, I think I'm being generous there. It's probably 40. I think the steak and the whiskey count for about 40%. The mustache is at least 20 itself.
Strong.
But I think a cross between Marshall from How I Met Your Mother, because I'm big, I'm lumbering, I sing to myself all day long. And then like maybe a mashup between Jake and Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Because I've got Jake's optimism, but I also, much like Captain Raymond Holt, really enjoy words. So
you do love words.
I do love a long word. So yeah, maybe some weird, crazy mixed race mashup.
You've really thought about this. Like, I mean, I respect this level of answer.
Thank you, man.
Like, honestly,
thank you. Well, thank you, Tonk Bomb.
This is mutated. This is mutated from what you mentioned yesterday into like this is like. Wow,
I went soul searching, man. I did research.
There's levels to this game. Mine is I thought about it and then I was like, who better to actually ask than your partner who you live with? So I just said, Emily,
great shout.
Which sitcom character would you say I am most like? And after a little bit of discussion, she said maybe a little bit vanilla to some people, but she was like Jim Halpert from The Office, the American Office. She said, there are elements of Andy Bernard to you that I simply cannot ignore. And I was like, I'm not sure I wanted to have this conversation. Like it started
Savage.
Well. Do you know what I mean? It was all right, the vanilla, boring guy that's kind of, safe option. And then the way she delivered but there are parts of Andy Bernard that I simply cannot ignore. And then she broke it down for me, and I was like, actually, do you know what? I'm aware that as a badge of honor. Like the way he like bursts into song, for example. Like, do you know when you said just now you love words? It took every fiber of my being not to start singing Words by Boyzone. Like, it's only words. That was the first came to my head. And it was like, there it is, boom. And I do that all the time at home. And I can understand how that would get, one, incredibly frustrating, and two, give serious Andy Bernard vibes. So
I'm
yeah,
right there with you, man.
Safe.
I'm right there with you.
It may sound safe to some people, but in truth, what started out to be a mild insult, or what felt like a mild insult, turned into me being like, actually, do you know what? Andy's cool. I'm in. I'm fine. I'm good with that. I can work on that.
I love that for you, man. I love that for you.
Thank you, man.
There was a point at which I was going to go, I know Ross from Friends is he's a very problematic character, particularly now. But like back in the 90s, I was obsessed with dinosaurs and loved Jennifer Aniston. So, like there are some vibes there.
If the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits. But yeah, I hope I'm not as problematic a character as he is. But I do still love dinosaurs, and I do still have a crush on Jennifer Aniston. So
you are many things. You are many things. I will say this to the community and to you. Problematic is not one of them.
I love you. Bless you.
You are squeaky clean, my friend. Yes. You can give me that 20 quid for that later, yeah?
Nice. And then one last question. It's a bit of a different one from the one like Saf, who asked a question around how we get collector's editions, right? And sort of what the process is. who determines, like, how is it determined who gets collector's editions, exclusives, that sort of thing. I think questions like these are really, really good to get into. I'd love to get, we'll probably try and get Darren, who also works in our team on the commercial side, to jump on and answer a few of these in the future as well. But really, it comes down to publisher relationships. It comes down to market share. It comes down to a lot of
Yeah.
numbers. So for a long time, the big purple retailer was the one that got everything, because they had the biggest presence on the high street and they had the biggest presence online as a specialist, right? I think more and more we like to think we're working ourselves into those conversations as well. Like Kronos is a great example. We had the Switch 2 and the PC exclusive on that
Yeah.
here in the UK. We've got a great relationship with Bandai Namco, and we've been fortunate enough to have sort of exclusives on the PC collector's editions for Elden Ring and for Night Rain, I believe. So we're gradually working our way into that conversation. But I think the best way, I suppose, to kind of keep gunning for that is to grow our community, is to grow our audience, is to grow the number of people that know and appreciate the game collection. And that's where you guys come in, I suppose, in a weird way. That's why we really value every single like, every single comment, every single share, because it helps, right? It helps with in those boardroom conversations around, okay, who's getting this exclusive and who's getting that steelbook and who's getting this collector's edition.
Yeah.
Because publishers take note, distributors take note, and yeah, the word of TGC is spreading. We want to spread it even further, right? I think when I joined last year, I think it's Giles, who's our head of e-commerce. He said, for years we've been the best kept secret in video games, and actually we're done with being a secret. We want everyone to know about TGC, and like it's down to the phenomenal work of people like Jack. Well, Jack, not just people like Jack. It's down to the phenomenal work of Jack. Growing the community, communicating with a fan base, and growing that fan base over like the last 10 years. That's allowed us to be in this position in the first place. And it's down to you guys as well. So yeah, for every single person that likes, comments, shares, we appreciate it, and I really do mean that.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate
absolutely
you massively.
And I think that the idea that just around people asking which editions are you getting, or can you get this? Why haven't you got this? Unfortunately, as you mentioned, like market share, sometimes like I would say we're pretty strong in saying that like we're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, indie retailer now in the UK for video games. But at the same time, like there obviously are much larger organizations for the Amazon and so on that have a huge market share due to their size. Like sometimes it's just not possible for us to deal or compete with those kinds of numbers. And for us, we'd love to be able to stock a whole range of collector's editions, exclusive or not, like to have that option to our community. It's something that I see asked for over the years, have seen many requests for, is collector's editions. And now we are starting to get more, which is obviously amazing to see. It's been a long time coming, but we really wish it was as simple as when we're asked, why aren't you stocking that? I said we would love to stock that. We would absolutely fall over ourselves to be able to bring that to the community. Unfortunately, sometimes those conversations are just unable to happen. So as you said, Matt, really, you may not think that likes, shares, and just general spreading of the word of TGC isn't that important. These conversations are very real, and they do go on at boardroom level when it comes to publisher relationships and who is the best fit for certain editions and so on. So every little bit of engagement that you give us, as Matt mentioned earlier on, I try my best to respond to everybody. I want you guys to feel like there's a place where you can come and talk to us about video games. This is not just about selling video games. Obviously, that's what we do. We're a retailer. But I want to just drop in and tell us what you're playing. Talk about stuff with us. We massively appreciate all of you. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think just going back to that in terms of our competition, right? And Jack mentioned Amazon there. It's Currys, it's Argos. We have we're swimming in waters with some pretty big sharks. I think one of the big things for the two of us in particular, because we're really the only two folks engaged in marketing, at least external marketing, right? Like for TGC is how can we be different? How can we differentiate ourselves? And Jack's focus on community is one of those things. Our branching out into video is another. How this podcast, the fact that this is existing is testament to that as well, right? And I hope we get to do this more and more and more, and let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you'd like to see it, or like to hear it, because it's really enjoyable to do. But that level of differentiation, like how do we separate ourselves? And for us, it's community, it's communication, it's conversation, and it's celebration, right? As Jack mentioned there, it's if you've got love for games, doesn't matter what they are, doesn't matter what games they are. If you've got love for games, we've got love for you. And that's sort of the vibe that underpins everything that you see us do on social media. So yeah, a long roundabout way of like, how do you guys get collector's editions? Growing our audience first and foremost, and ultimately giving the people what they want, right? So, and the last thing I would say on that is, and I've seen this happen, right? Someone will say on Twitter, "Oh, are you getting game X in?" And Jack will be straight in there, and like our internal teams being like to our commercial team, to our buying team, being like, "Guys, do we have any plans on this?" And 9 times out of 10, probably those conversations are are already going on. But if they're not, we'll strike up that conversation and we'll see if it's possible, and we'll try and get something in. So like we're looking more and more and being dynamic in that sort of way, and that goes on the collectibles side as well. We've got a team spinning that out now too. So so yeah, your voice matters, your engagement really, really matters, and we really, really, really appreciate it. So yeah, that,
Yes.
that's gone long, but it was worthwhile. It was lovely. If you're still with us at the end of these 75 odd minutes, thank you so much for listening. And let us know what you thought. Do drop us a comment. If you listen to this on YouTube, drop us a comment. We are looking at trying to get, as we do more of these, we probably will be looking at getting this up on Spotify and Apple Music, and getting a feed in to syndicate some of this stuff. But yeah, tell us what you think. Let us know what you'd like to see, both in terms of the podcast and in general across our social channels. Do check out the new blog on the website. We've both got a number of previews from Gamescom up there now. So yeah, let us know what you think. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and for all of your video gaming goodness, for all of your physical media. Check out the game collection. Like, we really, really appreciate you guys. So yeah, that's another one in the bag, Jack.
Thank you, collectors. Thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, the response to the first pod was insane. Way better than we could have hoped for. I mean, as you may guess from the sound quality, I haven't even got a microphone, man. Like,
we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that.
We're gonna get yeah. So if it sounds like I'm in like this I don't know, this factory, like,
a French factory of vibes.
Improvements will be made. And yeah, again, just to echo what you said, because there is an echo in here. To echo what you said, Matt, the response to the first pod was immense. And if you like this, if you're enjoying it, you want to see some stuff, you want to fire more questions at us, keep it coming. We appreciate you all, collectors. Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one, folks, or indeed on our social channels. Do follow us. We're out there if you're not already. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and catch you next time. Cheers, folks.
Peace.
Bye.